Full.
Okay, I've triggered my my plan B. So we're going from 5 by 5 to 32 by 38. So therefore, we're winning that one.
Very good,
Absolutely.
guys. Everyone, welcome. Lovely to see everyone connecting slowly. 2025. I know we're already like 9 days in, but we haven't spoken in quite some time, like since last year. How many times did you hear that joke? Because this year I've heard that so many times. Welcome to another live trading room session here with Lachlan, with us with the Trading Pit. We're going to do some European market trading. Lachlan is finishing setting up everything from his side right now because he is having some connection issues. So I believe that we have here with us in a bit Cody as a little bit of a backup. Guys, just prepare your notes, your pens, your keyboards, get ready to start trading, follow Lachlan's instructions. It's very important to kind of keep an eye on everything, make sure you follow. And I mean, yeah, this is pretty much it from my side. Lachlan, are we ready to go?
Yeah, we are ready to go.
No
We are
worries.
ready. We're glitching a little bit. I'm just 1 second. Okay. All right, now guys and girls, you should be able to hear me relatively clearly. Literally, as we came to start today, it looks like Japan has had a little bit of an internet glitch. So can I just double check? Guys, can I double check you can hear me clearly? So you should be able to hear me. You should be able to see me. Now, in a perfect world, Arlen was in the middle of giving us an awesome introduction, and then the internet decided to issue a challenge, but that's okay. That's okay. It's allowed to do that. So we are going to share. So you should now be able to see charts. Now, see if you can see charts. We are in a good place. So charts, perfect. I hope you guys are absolutely magic. So guys, Arlen was giving us an amazing New Year's intro, and of course, that the internet decided to get in the way of that. So therefore, that's okay. We'll just work through it as we need to. So what I'm going to do is let me just grab this presentation for you. Naturally, we're going to have to go through the presentation. I'll just get it up on the right screen, making sure we're good to go. That one. I'm just getting it up on the screen for you. This worked absolutely amazingly in practice. There we go. So can you now see, guys, can you now see a chart? Sorry, can you now see a slide? You should be able to in a perfect world. So we're good. We're good. Okay, guys and girls, let me run through the intro perfectly. Let me run through the intro perfectly, and we can get rock and roll. So welcome, guys and girls. Welcome. Arlen was giving us a great introduction. So happy New Year to everybody. I hope you're magic wherever you are in the world. As we're famous for saying, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So we cover almost all time zones. Now, guys, very excited to once again be presenting on behalf of the Trading Pit today. You guys, we're doing the European Open Live Trading Room. The market, guys, is a little bit quiet leading into the US funeral, guys, of Jimmy Carter tomorrow. I was in saying that I do believe we're probably going to end up with a pretty powerful little session. So, guys, in preparation for that session, if you don't mind, a couple of things. We are trading futures. Some of you are trading CFDs today, regardless of where you are in the world. Guys, we've got to mention that there are risks in trading. There's obviously a risk of making money and also losing money. Now, one of the most important things, guys and girls, about that is if you are trading futures or CFDs, you will be trading on margin. What does it ultimately mean? You're borrowing a little bit of money every time you take a trade. What does that ultimately mean? Guys, we can actually make money quite quickly. We can also lose it quite quickly. So what you're going to find today, guys, we have a very heavy focus on professional risk control. That's ultimately what we're going to be doing today. is focusing solely on risk control, as we are going to let our profits run if we get an opportunity to do that. And as a result, for those that are not used to what I do, you're going to see some small results, you'll see some large results. Naturally, the larger the result, the more experienced the trader. Now, that said, guys, everything we're going to be doing is general information only. The past performance of all financial products now can no longer be used as an indication of future performance. And that being said, ladies and gents, there's an amazing thing out there called the internet. That introduces what we refer to as market risk factors. Ultimately, I'm going to do my best to identify for you the exact trade entry and exit points for all of our trades today. I will give you an RCP, which is a risk control point. Ultimately, that is where I would suggest you start to reduce the risk on the trade. There was a little bit of confusion, guys, at the end of last year. We had one trader say the risk control point, guys, is where the stop loss is placed. Absolutely not. So just to quantify, guys, a risk control point is where once the actual market starts moving, guys, once the market starts moving towards a profit target, that's when we're going to activate the RCP or risk control. So I will define that for you guys as best as I possibly can. Now, quick introduction, guys and girls. My name's Lockie. I'm the CTO or Chief Training Officer at Samurai. Guys, long story short, I've been trading since discovered futures trading in August 2007. Opened my own trading school, guys, in August 2009, and I've been trading ever since and coaching ever since. Guys, the reason I actually opened, I quite often get asked the question, why did you open a trading school? I opened a trading school because there was basically no decent trading schools in Australia. So I thought, you know what, if there's no decent schools, I'll go and start my own, and I did. I suffice to say it's been a lot of fun. Mind you, I switched to futures trading because I discovered that that Forex trading is not exactly what it's sold to be. So as a result, I've written a number of books. I've co-authored an international bestseller, guys, and there is a book available for you guys on the website. It's free to download. It's called Brokers Exposed. It goes through ultimately why we do what we do and ultimately why we are futures traders. Now, I do come from a military background, guys and girls, so I'm pretty straight shooter, if you don't mind the pun, of course. I will tell you exactly what to do, how to do it, why to do it. We'll do our best, guys. We'll do our best to make as much money as we possibly can in the shortest possible time. So therefore, I would encourage everybody to stick to their daily KPIs or key performance indicators. Now, we're going to be basically, guys, targeting 10 signal sets today. So there's 10 different signals that we can trade. They're all part of what we ultimately do. Because at the end of the day, my focus will be on any of those comments over there in red. Particularly all the way down the bottom, the ABC and stair step of the market generally defines whether we're going to be reversing the market or trading what we call a trend continuation. CSA is an acronym we use. It's candlestick analysis. So basically, we're evaluating every candle for its strength and its weaknesses. One of the biggest advantages of being a 5-minute chart trader is we basically get new intelligence from the market every 5 minutes. Guys, at the end of the day, the trading game will be won by the traders that act or interact with the market in the most positive nature every single day. So understanding the market doesn't know we exist because we trade futures and therefore there are no brokers. Guys, it is literally a buyer versus seller, and the stronger team has to win. And my goal today is to identify the team that's failing so we can join the stronger team. Now, what does it ultimately mean? Guys, we've got a motto in trading, and that is let the market do the heavy lifting. So we're going to let the market define the signal for us, guys, and then off we go. Now, for those of you that have not been in the LTR before, there'll be 4 charts on display, guys. NASDAQ top left, S&P is the bottom left. The S&P is actually a reference chart for the NASDAQ. Bottom right-hand corner is the FESX. That's also a reference chart for the FDAX. Guys, and also the FESX bottom right-hand corner is the primary reference chart for all European open live trading rooms globally. Well, it should be, guys, because it is the biggest market in the world, bar none, without exception, regardless of what you've been told. It is the biggest market in the world during the European Open and therefore must be obeyed. if you don't mind me putting it that way. Now, guys, what to expect? Let me just get a sip of water here. Typically in the European Open, just to draw a comparison, we typically pick up around about 12 to 15 trades across the 3 markets that we're watching. We'll do both short and long range targets. Guys, typically the split contract traders are the people that can go for the far longer range targets with absolutely no risk. I'll explain that once we get into the trade. Guys, we will be using a risk control point, as I mentioned earlier. And guys, the initial risk to reward on every trade is going to be around about 1 to 1. Typically, if we do get a decent move, we're going to end up modifying that risk to reward ratio, sometimes 30 or 50 times in our favor. So please make sure, guys, if you're not used to what we do, guys, you listen for those risk control points and the risk reduction. We can rock and roll from there. Now, guys, we also run a US close live trading room. Now, typically, they do pick up more trades than us. I was in the US close I was with Fred this morning. So typically the US close will pick up between 17 to 20 trades across the two markets they trade. Guys, it's a far faster market movement, so you get your answer far faster. Signal sets are absolutely identical. Just be aware that if you are going to trade the US close, guys, you will be carrying more risk, but you can go for far larger targets. And may I suggest, guys, the US close traders this morning had an absolute blast. Okay, as I've just actually put out on YouTube for everybody. Now, guys, European Open specifics, if I can. So basically, we're a team of specialists. As I said, guys, I discovered futures trading in August 2007. It's gone from there. So live trading room is all about profit first and education second. So the most important thing, guys, is I'll try and get all of the traders to their daily KPI. For the NASDAQ traders, that's anything over $100 US. For the S&P, it's around about $200 US. For the FDAX, it's anything between $200 and $400 US. I want to get everybody, guys, to KPI as quickly as possible. Please do understand there's a number of traders in the room today that have been with me for at least 12 years. As a result of that, you may see some very large results. As if you don't be shy, if you see someone get a big result, please ask them why they did what they did, and they'll explain it for you. As the 10 signals we're running today do run at over a 90% strike rate. Sample size on those trades is around about 13,700 trades. So suffice to say, guys, we're pretty confident with what we do, and we do run at a well over a 90% strike rate. That doesn't mean we don't get losing trades. Guys, it just means losing trades are very, very rare. And guys, to offer a degree of transparency, the best transparency we can, guys, again, I post a video, typically 1 or 2 videos, guys, on YouTube every day. Guys, that's the Samurai Day Trading channel, basically identifying the best trade of the day and how we would have handled it. So suffice to say, guys, that is available for everybody globally. That's the Samurai Day Trading YouTube. A couple of personal considerations, guys, as we roll in. Our time is looking really good. If you are brand new, guys, if you're brand new to trading, please do watch, listen, and learn. We're here every Thursday. So again, you're not going to miss out on the only massive trade of the year. There's going to be many, many of those trades. Now, that being said, guys, if you're an experienced trader, please do take any trade that you choose to take. If you've got a question or a concern, please raise it, and I'll do it. I'll answer it as quickly as I can. I'll swim. Damsey, how are you? I'm going to sweep the mic through shortly, guys. A couple of professional traders in the background who are going to help me today, because we're going to have quite a large number of people watching. Now, guys, what I will do is I'll seek to maximize the profit on every single trade. Ultimately, we will start, as I said, with 1-to-1. We're going to build way beyond that relatively quickly. And please note, guys and girls, if a trade does require more risk than you are normally prepared to take, please don't let me romance you into taking a trade. There's a reason that you've got a maximum risk built into your trading plan, and we want to try and stick to that as best as we possibly can. Now, a bit of homework, guys and girls, if I can. First and foremost, the Brokers Exposed book is available, guys, for free for download on the website. All you need to do is go to Samurai Day Trading, guys, and download that. We won't chase you, harass you. Guys, it's my way of actually explaining why basically the vast majority of Forex traders don't go forward quickly, and futures traders have a significant advantage over everybody. YouTube, you already know about that, guys, and my Instagram is i.love.trading. So, guys, you'll be able to follow what I'm doing both on the keyboard and off the keyboard. Guys, I do find Instagram is actually quite good fun if you do want to have a play on Instagram. So let's run into the live trading room. Guys, I've got your briefing notes ready to go. Let me just push a little button here, and in a perfect world, we should go to charts. What I'm now going to do is sweep for my professional traders, guys. I'm going to bring them on the microphone because it's far easier for them to talk to me as opposed to typing. It's actually far faster. So let me bring some of these guys on. So both Andys, you should be online. Where's my? Hello, there you go. Hello, mate. Hello, young Ahmed. You're online. Hello, mate. Now let me, guys. I'm just sweeping the list. I've got all of my notes ready to rock and roll. Where's one of my big, I was going to say big swinger. People are going to think, what's going on here? There he is. Damsey, you're online. You're online, guys. There'll be a couple of more. There'll be a couple of other traders coming along, guys, as they bop into the LTR. So, oof, look at this. This is the volatility, guys. This is the volatility coming into the market, which is brilliant. But what I might do, guys and girls, let me just read a note from Steve. So, Steve, how are you, mate? Hope you're absolutely fantastic. Yes, 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 I completely agree. So, guys and girls, so Steve is talking about the market actually melting down and going a relatively long way to the downside, right? Long way to the downside. Now, that's actually coming off the 60-minute chart, which is a really, really good way, guys, of us sort of measuring what's about to occur in the market. So let me run through my notes, guys. Then we run through my notes and then we'll update some Fibonacci. So bottom left-hand corner, as both the US markets have actually set up really, really stunning daily longs. Now, that being said, guys, they're a long way from triggering those daily longs. I don't believe we're going to be triggering a daily long, guys, with the public holiday or effectively market close bank holiday tomorrow. Now, just be aware, guys, just be aware that there is a national day of mourning in the US tomorrow. So just be aware that it is unscheduled, but the markets are going to be turned off. So if you are a US close live trading room trader, right? If you're a US close live trading room trader, guys, there will be no US close tomorrow, but it will be back. It will be back the following day, right? So we'll get rid of that. That's obviously for Jimmy Carter's funeral. Now, again, couple of key points I do want to raise. We have almost gone outside the range of my Fibonacci. Right, so let me give you a quick briefing on what I do think is going to occur. As again, if we do get a buying opportunity today and it takes off, it could actually go a long way. The reason I say that, guys, is we've got these 3 phases of movement back towards the MDI. So Sophia, tomorrow is today. Right. So the US close, good point. The US close trading room opens in 11 hours from now, guys. That won't be opening. It won't be opening in 11 hours. It'll be opening the 24 hours after that. So that's a great point, Sophia. So guys, what I see here for the US based traders, guys, we could actually end up with a very, very volatile session. Can you guys see here, as I draw on the chart here, we've got basically 3 phases of movement. Right, so typically 3-phase movement on the 60-minute chart. So that's 3 phases of buying on the 60-minute chart. That will typically lead us into a 4-hour short. Right, so again, we're going to do our 60-minute Fibonacci up to catch them on the way down. What we're going to look for immediately, guys, on the 5-minute chart behind here is our Fibonacci being honored. You can see right here that it is being honored perfectly, and it's being honored perfectly. So I do believe that is the correct Fibonacci. Now, NASDAQ. As NASDAQ is there, S&P 500, we're going to do exactly the same. So let me just get this ready for you. Now, I note that the S&P, guys, the actual price movement on the S&P is far more constrained. How do we know that we might be in the middle of a 4-hour move? Can everybody see these green Fibonacci's on the S&P and the green Fibonacci's on the NASDAQ? What it ultimately means is they've sold down to key Fibonacci levels before turning around and going back the other way. Guys, ultimately, what does that generally indicate for us? It indicates that we are highly likely to pick up a 4-hour chart trade. Now, if that's a 4-hour chart long, as in a buy signal, it's likely to move the market for up to 12 hours. Now, I do agree with young Steve, as I do believe we're probably going down first. Okay, before we turn around and go back the other way. Right, so we're going to have to be particularly careful, guys, particularly careful on open. Now, it does bring up a really, really awesome point. Let me move those cameras around. It does bring up a really awesome point about the European markets. Now, yesterday, the European markets failed to close their gap. As they failed to close their gap, and we've also got a gap to close from a number of days ago. I'll show you on the larger charts what I mean. So FDAX at this point in time, guys, the European markets, you can see here, are really, really angry. If we were to buy the market, guys, the previous pivot up here is a very, very strong selling point. Okay, the previous pivot. Guys, I've also got a note for you here at 380. Jeff, how are you? Hope you're absolutely brilliant. Guys, if we do get down to 380, then the FDAX is highly likely to collapse. So we've got to be very, very careful, guys. If the market gets really angry this afternoon, then again, the selling signals are going to offer really, really good risk to reward ratios. Guys, the buy signals, we're going to have to watch our risk control points and make sure we're quick to control the risk quickly in case that's not the turning point in the market. Now, all of the key information is going to come off the FESX. I'm going to run through that. Let me check our lead-in volume. So as lead-in volume, guys, at this point in time, just under 40,000. So for this European Open session, that would indicate we're in for quite a quiet session. Just be aware, guys, we'll do low volatility targets to start until we know the personality of the market. Once we know the personality, we can start to stretch those out. All right, that'll be defined for us by the volatility indicator. As an example, at the moment, volatility on the FDAX is sitting at 12. That's probably going to accelerate quite quickly to around about 20 to 25. Right, so we're going to use the volatility indicator as a hint as to what targets we're going to be setting, but also our acceptable risk. Now, down on the FESX, guys, the key point to watch out for all of you that know what you're doing here. Okay, so yesterday the market's actually run up here. Okay, I put an arrow on it for you. The market has run up here and failed, guys, at the monthly 76 Fibonacci's. So what does it ultimately mean? It means that the big, and I'm not being rude, the big boys and girls in Europe, guys, the big boys and girls in Europe are getting ready to sell, and they're getting ready to sell hard. Now, based on a technical perspective, the fact these guys couldn't actually close over the 76.4 Fibonacci off the monthly chart, they also couldn't close above, guys. The pink Fibonacci is just below. The pink Fibonacci's are off the weekly chart. As a minimum, we're looking at a weekly short with the intent of Europe selling for around about 3 weeks. Now, what does that ultimately mean? If we come across to the weekly chart, as we would need, at this point in time, we would need this week to close weak. That's a tongue twister, but we would actually need this week's trading to close quite weak before we're looking at that weekly trigger to send us to the downside. What I would be very, very careful of today, guys, can everybody see this tiny little doji red candle here on the daily chart? If we get anywhere near yesterday's low on the FESX, that is a stunning ratio-based static bar reversal short. Louis. So guys, Louis just posted 167 ticks times 5. That's a reasonable trade, mate. 167 times 5 on the NASDAQ and 2 times 31 on a scaling, mate. So guys, today could get real busy real quickly. That's a very lovely trade, mate. So it is definitely Louis shout. So what we've got, guys, is a very, very strong sell. There's very strong sell ramping up in Europe. Now, I agree, guys. Steve's analysis is on the NASDAQ. It would appear that the NASDAQ is gearing up for a really, really large sell as well. So let's keep an eye on that. It does mean, as we start picking up big efficient candles on the FDAX to the downside. So if we do start picking up big efficient candles or deltas outside the range of those candles, guys, the market could this afternoon just start falling through those sell signals for us. Which, dare I say, it is always good fun. Now, as for the FESX, we come down here to the 4-hour chart, and we've got to be very, very careful, guys. Ultimately, with this session, got to be very, very careful about 4-hour signals working against us. At this point in time, we don't have a 4-hour signal working against us, okay, which is good fun. Moving down to the 60-minute chart. At this point in time, the sellers own the stair step. So what we're going to be looking for, guys, is the 60-minute chart Fibonacci extension. That's going to give us some institutional failure points on the market. Okay, going to draw my Fibonacci like this. So the whole intent is to make sure that we catch them on the way down. As the FESX, again, if it's doing what it normally does, can everybody see that pink 61.8 fib? Okay, that pink Fibonacci running right there happens to coincide almost perfectly with a 133 fib extension. That's the FESX's favorite number for the European Open. So I would suggest we're going to go down. As when we do, we're probably going to go down in a hurry. Excuse me, 15-minute charts. Not a lot of intelligence on the 15-minute chart, other than we're going to draw our Fibonacci up. To catch them on the way down, guys, please note, Fibonacci is always drawn from left to right. The spine of the Fibonacci is always from left to right. It was just in case you get your Fibonacci's upside down. At this point in time, guys, the FESX looks like it's really, really, really cranky. Now, if they do decide to buy, guys, now again, we've got to be very, very careful coming into a trading session, assuming that we can predict the direction of the market. If the European market was to buy for some reason, note please this very, very strong sell point up here. Okay, very, very strong sell point. So if they do decide to try and close their gap, guys, there's going to be a lot of resistance to them doing that. Now, I do want to show you, guys, the FDAX. Let me just grab the FDAX daily chart, okay, because I want to show you, guys, the extent of the gap. Okay, now, The gap, can everybody see? Can everybody see? Some of you may not be used to this, sort of a bit of gap analysis, which is fine. Can everybody see this little green candle there is closed up there, and then today is actually literally gapped down. It's literally gapped down. Now, interesting point. Mathematically, the FESX must go up. Sorry, the FDAX, I should say, must go up and close that gap. However, we've got a massive magnet to price. Can everybody see this big price gap down here? You've got the green candle, then the big gap to the red one. So if we do get a wriggle onto the downside today, guys, for the experienced traders like Nathan, for example, guys, you are looking for a target, a long range sell target, guys, of around about the 280 mark. Now, interesting point. The FDAX absolutely loves the 50 fib on the 4-hour chart, and guess what's sitting at the 284. So if we do get a big move down, guys, you guys are looking for around about 120 point long range target. Okay, so if we do get an initial buy into the market, as that initial buy doesn't go very well, then we are looking for long range sells. Okay, no doubt about that at all. Now, I say that, ladies and gents, please don't come into any trading session. I'm just putting charts down the bottom here. Please don't come into any trading session with a preconception as to what the market direction is going to be. Generally speaking, what we do, it's a little bit of a human error, but what we generally do then is we discount really, really good trades that disagree with our potential forecast. So if I say, oh, the market's got to go down today, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Because what I do is I then actually form a cognitive bias against really, really lovely buy signals. So we've just got to basically, there's a really, really lovely saying in trading, and that is trade what you see, not what you think. Right? And one of the fastest ways to identify or trade what you see, guys, is to use candlestick analysis every time we get a trade. Just going to make these candles a little bit bigger. I was getting ready to rock and roll. So 2 minutes, guys, 2 minutes and 47 seconds until the gun goes. Just be aware, guys, just be aware if I can. Let me just push some buttons here in the background. Just be aware if I can, ladies and gents, that again, we will have an opening candle trade on the FDAX. The FDAX, just like the FESX, absolutely loves failing. It absolutely loves failing at the 133, 141.4 fib extension. It absolutely loves it. Okay, 414, as there is an absolutely incredible trade for the advanced traders on FDAX long at 414. Okay, at 414. So if we do get a bit of a sell down, on open, and that sell down struggles to go anywhere, as we may be looking at a really, really lovely long at 414, you would want to try and hold that 414 long, guys, for up to 15 minutes, but please, because it looks like the mojo of the market is very, very angry, guys, you want to have a tight risk control point. So our classic 5-point risk control point, guys, on that one would be really smart. Now, as we come into open, please make sure you've got the right accounts loaded, you've got the right ATMs loaded. Please, again, don't let me romance you into taking trades you wouldn't otherwise take. The 15-minute chart looks like we're going to feed that long at 414, guys. It is actually a 15-minute chart trade. Let me get a Fibonacci on here to see what they're doing at a very small level. Perfect. Okay, see that 15-minute chart SBR long, guys, right there? We're literally right there at 414. If these guys sell down hard, guys, and they can't sell down properly, we may end up with a really, really good little trade. Okay, really, really good little trade. Now, leading, excuse me, guys, it's -4. Guys, if you're trying to work out why I'm coughing a little bit, it's cold. It's very, very cold. Now, the flip side of being very, very cold, guys, there's our 133 fib extension for the FDAX traders. Please don't let me romance you guys into taking trades, guys, on the open of the FDAX. We will be looking for a pre-market box reversal, as we need the sellers to ultimately sell down pretty hard. There is a backup trade for those of you that are quite advanced with what you do. This is a backup trade here. You've got a ratio-based static bar reversal long, 1 point over the top of that red candle. This green candle is also potentially going to create an SBR to the high side. Okay. NASDAQ traders, watch out for a sell down to those 76 fibs. All right, here we go. Now, traditionally, guys and girls, we wait for the opening candle to turn climactic before we then take a trade. As now, again, the little green static bar reversal, guys, is sitting on the market there with an entry price at 412 if you do trade the opening candle prior to going climactic. Okay, now, NASDAQ traders, the Delta V2 going the other way. Louis just mentioned that we do have a 161.8 fib extension failure on the NASDAQ. So the flip side being, guys, the buying delta there on the NASDAQ, if you trade the opening candle of Europe, right? If you trade the opening candle of Europe, I would watch Europe, guys, I'd ultimately watch Europe go climactic. So we're looking for a change in the color of the candle, right? There's the change right now. So the pre-market box traders, if we do get a sell down, guys, below the pre-market box, now you've gone climactic. Guys, we're looking for a long 2 points over the top of the box at 97. Guys, if you're going to go long at 97, guys, your first target is 0.2. You've already gone through your first target. Your second target, 12. So guys, if you waited for the opening candle on FDAX to go climactic, which is change color, hey guys, you've already gone through your first target and you're on your way to your second target. As there is a scale opportunity over the top of that static bar reversal for the very experienced traders. As I note that the static bar reversal has not triggered yet. I also note that the FESX has not gone to the 50 fib of the day yet, right? So if you are a pre-market box reversal trader on FDAX, you guys have sold down, you've hit a 4-hour Fibonacci, you've failed at 90% Fibonacci's, you've also got within a whisker of that 133. So if you have gone long, guys, at 97, right, your first target is 0.2. Your second target, guys, is 0.7. You've just gone through that target now. If we trigger that little green static bar reversal, as I move that circle down, if we trigger that SBR long, guys, at 12, as it's highly likely to go very, very well. Now, again, my preferred trade for you guys is to be long off the pre-market box, which is what we normally do. Okay, here come the buyers. So for the NASDAQ, as we're looking for the sellers to sell down here, we're looking for the sellers to fail badly on the NASDAQ. And then we're basically targeting, guys, that delta long, right? There's a V2 delta long there at 51.50 is your exact entry price. I would suggest the US traders are basically waiting to see what Europe does. If Europe doesn't explode, guys, on open to the high side, so all FTX traders, guys, all FTX traders, Aaron, well done, mate. You've done very, very well. All FTX traders, you've gone through your first target, through your second target, you've controlled your risk, you've got nothing at risk. Ash, nice trade, mate. You've got nothing at risk on the FTX whatsoever, please. So your risk to reward ratio for your long range targets is now massively in your favor. The FTX is likely to run out of steam, guys, when the FESX gets to the 50 fib of the day. All right, so let's just, fat candles, guys, much easier to read. There's no question about that. Okay, now at this point, guys, the sellers are trying to have a crack. I'm going to put that Fibonacci on that young Louis is trading off. Also, Ash, I believe, has just traded off the same fib. Right, there it is right there, the 161. So at this stage, guys and girls, Europe, the buyers are not impressing anyone at all, but that's okay because if you've gone long, guys, at 97, you've gone way beyond your short range and intermediate targets, all right? So no long range targets, but also no risk. And guys, if these guys close down, then we are looking for a potential pretty heavy sell down. Okay, so note that the FESX has got within a whisker of the 50 fib of the day. Guys, that's enough to turn the FDAX and send it back the other way. Right, here we go. All right, so where does it look at this point in time? Guys, we're going to end up with very, very efficient CORPC bars on both the NASDAQ and also the S&P 500. At this stage, these sellers, guys, are really strong. Right now, they've gone climactic on NASDAQ. All right, so what does it mean for the NASDAQ traders? We are looking for a double failure reversal, please. So we want the market to stall. We want the market to stall at this level. If they close below the 76s, guys, we can't go long. Okay, we can't go long, so just let them cruise. We're in about 15 seconds to make a decision on that. FDAX, you're now back down in the 133, 141.4. Flip side being is your next trade, guys, for the FDAX traders. There is actually a reversal setting up off yesterday's low. Guys, to take the pre-market box reversal, again, we must close inside the box, which we have not. So you guys are watching for yesterday's low, please, which is also just above the 161.8 extension. Now, Nazi, guys, you are neither long nor short. So now we refer to the S&P 500. S&P, you're neither long or short. Wrong. S&P, you can't go short, you can go long. If you are a climactic failure, guys, a failure trader on the S&P, you're long at 5931, worst case scenario. The delta's long on NASDAQ. Guys, if you're trading the NASDAQ in sympathy to the S&P 500, are tradable. So S&P, you've got a climactic failure at your 76 fibs. Worst case scenario, you've gone long at 5931. Based on your current volatility, guys, your first target is 5933. So an 8-point target, please, or 8-tick target. Yeah, volatility is pretty good. Nazi, guys, if you are going to trade the deltas long, your risk control point, please, is 20 ticks. I'm going to put that on the screen for you now. Oh, that is the wrong button. Let me just go and get the right button for you. Okay, so here's the rectangle. Right, this is a 20-tick box, guys. If you are going to go long, guys, out of sympathy on the NASDAQ, you can take the first 3 buying deltas long. I want you to hold this trade, guys, long for up to 15 minutes for the advanced traders. For the junior traders, guys, go for 20s and 50s, 20s and 40s, 20s and 40s, please, or up to 40 ticks. This could go a long way, guys. It could go a long way. It could also fail dismally. The reason the NASDAQ is running is it's out of sympathy for the S&P 500. So the S&P traders, you've picked up an absolutely stunning double failure reversal. Stunning, 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 stunning trade. The flip side of that being you've got buying deltas fueling the S&P, the buying deltas fueling the NASDAQ. Guys. So the bottom 3 deltas on the NASDAQ are absolutely brilliant. The V2 delta you've got across the chart there, guys, on NASDAQ, the risk is a little bit too crazy for most of you at this point in time. So I wouldn't be targeting the V2. I'd be targeting the bottom V1s, the 3 bottom V1s, all right? And that 20-tick box, guys, really good risk control point. Now, for those that don't know, a risk control point either serves as your first target, or if you are going for a 40 or a 50-tick target, the moment we go 20 ticks, you can bring your stop through to, let's say, -1 for mathematical reasons. So you bring it through, guys. So you've got 1 ticket risk to make 40 or 50, which means the risk to reward is 40 to 50 times in your favor. To me, that is very, very smart trading. Guys, if you're long on the NASDAQ, guys, if you're long on the NASDAQ on, let's say, worst case scenario, the highest delta, you've already gone 10, 20, 30, 40 ticks in your favor. Please have no risk on the long, guys. We've got big shorts everywhere, right? Big shorts everywhere. So just, again, we're going to be really tight with our risk control on our longs. Guys, really tight on the risk control on our longs. We're going to be loose with our risk control on the shorts, if you don't mind. So loose on the shorts, tight on the longs, please. You guys are doing really well, Keith. Lovely trade, right? Lovely, lovely, lovely trade. Now, FDAX can't go long inside the pre-market box because we're assuming a close over. We're still looking for yesterday's low, guys, as a reversal. FESX is already setting up that trade. I can actually get rid of that Fibonacci. So always looking to strip information off the charts, guys, because the candlesticks will ultimately give us the best intel. There's no doubt. FDAX, you're in your last 90 seconds. If we close back inside the pre-market box, we're looking for a trade at 397. At the moment, we're not looking for that trade, guys, because we cannot assume a close back inside the pivot. Okay, not allowed to do that. Flip side, S&P 500 traders. Again, guys, if you're a 76 Fibonacci trader or the evil twins, as you've picked up an absolutely stunning trade. Now, that stunning trade draws my attention to the 15-minute charts. Guys, so S&P 500, you're also reversing off key Fibonacci extensions. Nazi and S&P. If you are long, guys, and you're a little bit adventurous, I do want you to hold that trade, please, for up to 15 minutes. As I've said before, oh, look at that. 161.8 fib extension failure. So I want you to hold the NAS, guys, for up to 15 minutes, right? Up to 15 minutes, please. FDAX traders, okay, FDAX traders, we are going to target, okay, that static bar reversal right there, the little green one. Now, if we get, I said not now, just wait till the candle closes. If we get a really, really strong buying candle here, guys, what we can do is wait for a retrace down to the pre-market box. Okay, we might get a retrace down to the pre-market box. We could get a retrace to these 76s. So we're looking for a retrace underneath the 76s to go long over the top of that, underneath the pre-bottom, guys, or our backup trade. If they just start fluttering around, tag the 76 and run, your backup trade, guys, is the SBR long. guys, with an entry price at 412. Don't get smoked into the market, guys. Just let the sellers show first before you buy. So worst case scenario, the FDAX traders are going to be buying at 412 once the sellers show and fail. If we push through both of those red Fibonacci's, guys, over here on the FDAX, if we push through both of those, some of you may be looking for a long, I would suggest at 407. So again, same RCP, guys, so nothing fancy. I would love to see these sellers push down and fail at a Fibonacci on the dominant candle. Okay, that Fibonacci can go. We don't need that anymore. Nazi traders, the Delta V2, if you're not long, guys, the Delta V2 is now acceptable as a trade, right? If you trade the Delta V2, the bright green Delta on my chart there. Just to quantify, guys, the V2 is carrying risk, but the V2's got along at 40 and a quarter. So 40 and a quarter, but we are carrying risk, guys. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The risk on the NASDAQ is probably too much for the vast majority of traders at this point in time. Now, FDAX, I am looking for, so these sellers at this point in time, guys, not impressing anyone at all. Okay, not impressing anyone. I would really like for the sellers to get underneath these 76 fibs if we're going to go long over the top of the 76s. So we're looking for a 0.7 entry. Sellers are not impressing anyone at this stage. Now, if you are a little bit aggressive, guys, and you're going to go long at 0.7, please remember that your risk control point is 1.2. For the super careful traders, you're waiting for the sellers to come down underneath the pre-box in order to go long. So again, the pre-box will hold less risk, therefore greater potential reward. This looks a lot like a 0.7, sorry, guys, a 76 fib failure. What does it ultimately mean? If you're long at 0.7, guys, if you're long at 0.7, your first target is 12. You threw your first target. If you didn't like that trade, guys, you've got a Delta V2 that complements the static bar reversal. Again, if you're going to go long at 12, your target 17. NASDAQ traders, you are still long for the long range traders, please. All right. So NASI traders are still long for the long range traders. As I would suggest, guys, this one's going to show towards the end of the candle. All right, here we go. Right. So if you're long, guys, on the Delta at 412, if you're long on the Delta at 412, your first target and risk control point is 417. That's about to get drilled. Right, so you're on 417 now. So please control your risk on FDAX. First target's out, worst case scenario, static bar reversal or V2 Delta. If you waited for the retrace of the 76s and then went long, guys, you threw your first target and your second target. Right. So static bar reversal, guys, you guys are out. V2 Delta traders, you're out with your first target. No risk on the FDAX at all, please. All right. You guys are having a very, very easy start to your day, FDAX traders. A very, very easy start to your day, let me tell you. Okay. Now, okay. So you guys, if you're being really careful on the FDAX, guys, you can just do 5-point targets. It's 200 Aussie dollars or 125 US dollars every time we do that. Right. So don't be shy on that one. Good trading. Good trading. Now, for the NASI traders, so the long range traders, everybody's controlled their risk. No one's got any money to lose. What we're going to do is we're going to put a counter Fibonacci down the NASDAQ now to work out where they're failing. We do have to keep a very, very close eye, guys, on these 76s. Please be aware, guys, that if you did grab the V2 Delta, as I instructed, guys, at 40.25, the V2 Delta has already gone at least 30 ticks to the high side. So if you're long on the V2 Delta on the NASDAQ after the strong buying candle closed, you waited for the retrace, waited for the rejection, then picked up the V2, you threw your profit targets, guys. There's no way anybody's got any risk on the NASDAQ at all, right? So your risk to reward ratio, guys, is up to 50 times in your favor now with 50 tick targets and +1 or -1 stops. Okay, so that could actually be quite good fun. Now, that little V2, guys, that little V2. Say again, mate. Go.
15 minutes SBR.
Thank you, mate. Perfect. Well done. Well done, well done, well done. All right. Now, that being said, guys, that SBR, absolute chicken dinner winner. If you waited for the sellers to push down and fail at Fibonacci on the dominant candle, let me show you what that looks like. All right, so, doing this as quickly as I can. Fibonacci goes up the candle, catch them at the 50 fib, absolutely perfect spot. Then you've entered your Delta long. So you've got around about 30 ticks of risk, guys, with the intent of going for a minimum of 50 if that is your trade. Okay. So therefore, you're in a really good place. Okay, FDAX, no more trades at this stage. You guys have got off to a reasonable start, FDAX. So well done. Well done, well done, well done. Please keep, guys, please keep an eye on your KPIs. That would be really important. Okay, really, really, really important. Actually, you guys also picked up the pre-bottom reversal, didn't you? So FDAX traders, you could be sitting up to 4 times +5. You could be sitting up to 4 times +5, which is a really, really, well, that's 20 points, guys. That's a weekly KPI. So that's actually pretty good if you're on that. Now, a number of you guys, a number of you will be on longer range targets. All right, now longer range targets on the FDAX. Again, if that's your personality, you are trading for the longer range target traders, as you are trading to, excuse me, if we can get above the 50 of the day, guys, and we close above the 50 of the day, I'd like you guys to try and get up around about these 76s. Okay, so we'll just take that off. And again, the market will always show us what to do, as it always does. It always does. Mark, so well done, mate. That's brilliant. Well done, guys. Good start. A solid start, everybody. Well done. Now, Nazi long range traders, you are still long. Okay, so my challenge for you guys, now you are long, guys. So the Nazi traders, you are long. If you're an advanced trader, or you know what you're doing, or you've been here before, you may have picked up the first 3 deltas long on the NASDAQ out of sympathy to the S&P 500. The S&P 500, guys, absolutely technically perfect trade. If we get the buyers returning on the NASDAQ here, we'll know that in around about 3 minutes from now. If the buyers do return into the market, little hints that they might be thinking about it. If we can get above, guys, those 76 fibs, guys, on the NASDAQ, then that NASDAQ trade is going to turn into a stunner, okay? Understanding that no one's got any risk, right? 0 risk on this trade. It's all money for jam now, guys, and I do want you to hold that Nazi trade for up to 15 minutes, please. Okay, now Cole, the way with the Nazi, again, the deltas down the bottom here, the risk was around about 10, 20, 30, around about 40 ticks, or you can wait for the candle to close, prove it's strong, wait for the retrace to a Fibonacci, and then get in. Then that one had around about 28, 29 ticks worth of risk. Okay. Now, FDAX long range traders, you guys are just holding long, please. You've controlled your risk, or you've reduced your risk. You've got nothing, guys. You've got nothing at risk. I do note the FDAX has, guess what, just shied away from a 4-hour short. That's why we're getting the longs. Louis, plus 108 times 2 contracts on NASDAQ. Wait, that is a solid trade. So, wow, guys, the Fibonacci masterclass on behalf of the markets today. Now, around about 90 seconds, guys, until we know what they're doing. Nath, are you holding for long-range targets? Is anyone holding for long-range targets, please, on FDAX? You are probably going to see them push through quite easily, guys, to around about the 440 mark. Nathan is holding. Okay, well done. We've got NASDAQ traders, guys, if you are holding. Okay, if you are holding, you're just sitting on this at this point in time. Right, sitting on this, let's just see what we can get out of it. We may end up, again, stalling at these 76s. We may end up stalling. Whereas that'll be a continuation trade short. It's not a reversal trade because the sellers own the stair step. So selling with the sellers, guys, has a lower success rate than selling with the buyers or selling against the buyers. Oh, this FDAX, absolutely textbook stuff. All right, so for the FDAX traders, we are about to get a scale-in opportunity. Okay, we're about to get a scale-in opportunity. The flip side of the scale-in opportunity is, let me just see where we're at. Yeah, we may go, guys. We'll have to judge that in around about 30 seconds from now, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds. The 15-minute chart. As 15-minute chart SBR on NASDAQ is trying to trigger. The 30-minute SBR is trying to trigger. It's an interesting point. If they can't trigger, guys, and hold those 15-minute longs. So for those that don't know, an SBR, it's a static bar reversal. These guys can't hold their 15-minute chart trades long. We're going to get swing triggers short on the 5-minute chart. Now, I have a sneaking suspicion, guys, the NASDAQ traders are about to slam this market. Okay, now what that ultimately means What that ultimately means is that everyone on NASDAQ has controlled their risk. Louis has targeted the 76 horizontals, guys, as a target. FDAX, at this stage, guys, the buyers own the stair step. So what does that ultimately mean for the really experienced traders? Guys, there's a scale-in opportunity over the top of the 50 fib at 23. If you are going to scale in long, guys, at 23, if you're going to, this is for those that really know what they're doing. If you're scaling in at 23, guys, then your risk control point is 28, please. All right, so I'm going to give you a risk control point. This is only for those people that scale in, only for those people on multiple contracts on the FDAX. If you're happy with the trade, don't let me romance you into doing something you wouldn't otherwise normally do. Now, I have a sneaking suspicion, guys, in the next 48 seconds, the FDAX is going to push up to that black line, if not before then. So we'll just see what they're up to. For the NASDAQ, guys, I don't have an additional sell signal at this point in time. I don't have any sell signals because we're not going to swing back into the 50 fib of the micro trend. FDAX, you've got 31 seconds to make me look like I know what I'm doing, please. Go on, off you go. Go and touch a black line, please. That'll do. Very good. So, guys, if you are long on a scale-in opportunity, guys, at 23 or 22, your risk control point is 27, which is that black line right there. In fact, the line is at 28. It should be at 27. So, again, if you're going to scale in, guys, you're going to scale in over the top of the 50 fib. You need them to get 27 or 28. Okay, so 28 is the 5-point target of the scaling if they're going to run. All right, now scaling in is only for those people that are long from down the bottom. So you've already locked in a crap load of profit and you're basically compounding in on a winning trade as opposed to dollar cost averaging, which we would never, ever, ever do. We are not DCA traders at all, guys. Only ever scale into winning trades, please, not losing trades. Now, we've got no new trades. There's no new trades setting up on the NASDAQ at this stage. Now, I do want to highlight the 76s. I'll just get rid of this Fibonacci. I have a sneaking suspicion, guys, we're about to load a 15-minute chart swing trigger short on the NASDAQ. All right, so what we need to do is we need to find out, do we have a valid 5-minute chart trade? Okay, if this tiny little candle, guys, if this candle, sorry, in 2 minutes closes a really, really small candle, okay, a really small candle, it's going to be a static bar continuation to the downside now. So don't put your order on just yet, okay? You can put an order down the bottom of the screen if you want to, guys, no question about that. But we may end up with a continuation trade here. The entry is going to be at this point in time at 249 even. And that would depend on the 15-minute chart close, which comes in 1 minute and 34 seconds. Wrong, sorry. We've got 7 minutes to wait for that trade. All right, FDAX traders, if you have scaled in, guys, over the top of the 50 fib for the experienced traders, you are now way beyond your risk control point. Okay, so please, first target's out. No risk on the trade. We're going to see if we can scale you in and compound on your return even further, please. Right, that's the idea, is compounding on an already winning position, guys, and taking even more money out of the market. They should in a perfect world go to 440. They should go to 440. Now, NASDAQ and S&P, I've just missed a trade on the S&P 500. Sorry, guys, you've got a 4-point turning bar long to the high side. Okay, so I've missed the entry on the S&P, guys. That's my fault. I was keeping an eye on the FDAX retracement. Guys, if you have gone long on the S&P 500, guys, your entry's at 5940. So 5940. Your first target, guys, because you're coming towards the 50 fib of the day, will be 41. Your second target will be 42. If you do trade a 4-point turning bar, guys, absolute classic, mathematically perfect trade. If you do trade a 4-point turning bar, guys, or you do trade a static bar reversal, you guys have got a delta. Okay, a buying delta. Let me just grab this for you. You have a buying delta just outside the range, goes just outside the range of an SBR to the high side. So many of the S&P 500 traders are probably long. Ahmed, 10, 10, 10, and 140. That's a very big trade. Big congratulations, mate. That is fantastic. All right, so S&P, guys, I'm a little bit late on the S&P. Okay, granted. Guys, I mean, everybody's got the delta on their screen, but you've got an absolutely perfect delta there outside the range of a ratio-based SPR. Guys, now the best trade on the S&P 500, guys, as we've already spoken about, okay, is the 76 fib failure down the bottom. Okay, that's the trade of the day, guys, so far. Do I have any NASDAQ traders, guys, any NASDAQ traders who have held the trade for 15 minutes? Because if you have, guys, yeah, well done, mate. All right, so you guys, this is now just money for jam for you guys. All right, money for jam. Just let them go. The next port of call for the NASDAQ long, guys, for those that are holding for long-range longs, Delta V2s are valid, guys, at this point in time. They're highly likely to go to that 100 extension. It's highly likely there's a Delta V2, guys, on NASDAQ if you can hold the risk. Guys, now, again, they're starting to get a bit cranky, which is good. So, guys, your Delta V2 should be on your chart at 270.50. If you are long on that V2, guys, you've got a 20-tick first target, please. Understanding that they're going to go to that 100% extension, which is exactly what they're doing now, which is where your target is for that Delta V2. Okay, yeah, everybody. All right. Scale in trades, guys. Is that a 4-point turning bar long? No, it's not. It's against the step. I really want to put the junior FTAX traders long again, but I think many of you have probably finished trading for the day. Right, you've probably finished trading, which is a really, really awesome place for you guys to be. Dave, you've got 142 times 3 plus 60 times 3 plus 63 times 3. Remy, 200 times 5. That's a big trade. Right, that's a big trade. So well done. Well done. So stalling point for the Nasdaq, guys, obviously the 100% extension. Highly likely these guys are going to also push through to the 50 fib of the day. Okay, now counter Fibonacci for you guys. I think it's all about the Fibonacci extension at this point in time. You guys are going really, really, really well. So well done, everybody. This is brilliant. Guys, this is brilliant. So just keep bopping along, guys. Again, if you guys, if you pick up a reversal very early in the European Open, we're going to try and sit on it. Again, we've got you guys know about sitting on trades for a decent amount of time. You're very, very good at it. The flip side, the 15-minute charts, guys, are absolutely brilliant. Okay, what we're looking for at this stage is a 30-minute chart in agreement. The NASDAQ is in agreement. The S&P 500 is not. All right, so NASDAQ is, if you're long, guys, out of sympathy from the S&P 500, S&P technically amazing trade, like amazing with a capital A, and that's why the NASDAQ's gone out of sympathy. Now, if you have gone long, guys, on the Delta V2, right, if you have gone long on the V2 Delta just here, bright green line across the chart, please note, guys, that your entry is at 70.50. Your target is 20 ticks. You've gone way beyond 20 ticks now. So if you are going to try and take that for a long range trade, please make sure you've got no risk. I would suggest, guys, a 20 and a 50, but I'd also suggest you have absolutely no risk, please. Now, we are expecting 10 to 12 trades, guys, out of this session with this lead-in volatility. Do I have Cody? I do have Cody. Cody, how are you, mate? I'm just going to jump on your mic. So, guys, if you are long, on the NASDAQ, the challenge from me was you to hold the trade for up to 15 minutes. Those that have held for up to 15 minutes have gone a minimum, worst case scenario, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. A minimum of 120 ticks or $600, guys, into profit per contract. Remy, your trade 200 times 5, mate, that is hilarious. That's a big trade. That's a big trade. Most people will try and earn that in a month, mate, and you've done it in less than a month. That's very exciting. Ken, I think it's a 15-minute chart that's actually playing the game. So again, Ken, because we've got 15-minute chart trades setting up, then the 5-minute chart MDI doesn't really matter. It's more about the 15-minute chart. And the NASDAQ is NASDAQ is actually nowhere near its 15-minute chart MDI at this point in time. So great question, mate. Great question. Yeah, Suzanne, huge trade. Huge trades. All right, now, oh, wow. Okay. So for those that are still long, like Andy down in Melbourne, right, you're still long on the NASDAQ, then Oh, oh, Nathan. Nathan has
I was
scaled
off.
in, guys, on the FDAX, and that is
I
just
was off
jumped.
the 76s right down at the bottom there,
Yeah,
Lockie.
mate, well done. That's brilliant. So for the Nasdaq traders who are long, 50 fib of the day is a very obvious support and resistance level. Guys, please do not take the deltas, assuming you close over a pivot. If I was long on the Nasdaq now, guys, I'd be closing in a large amount of profit now, please. Now, for the FDAX traders who are long for long range targets, you guys may have gone long down the bottom. You've also scaled in. At this point in time, you've gone through your first and your second target. No risk on your scale in, please. If it wants to keep going, amazing. If it doesn't want to, then you guys have done an amazing job. What we can do is go and get rid of that Fibonacci, guys, that is now expired. We don't need that one anymore. We're going to be flipping it back this way. Oh, out of interest, guys, is anybody long at, I said to the FTX traders, guys, if you're an experienced trader, we go down first. I want you to go long at 414. Is anybody long, guys, at 414? Because if you are long at 414, you're currently trading at 44. So that trade is more than 30 points into profit. Right, 30 points at 40 Aussie dollars per point is $1,200. Right, so if you are long on the FTX at 414, as per the original brief, then please make sure you have no risk on that trade whatsoever. Okay, no risk on the trade, please. Just let it rock and roll. Just let it rock and roll. I would suggest, what are we, 30 minutes in? I'd suggest we've got a little bit more juice in the tank for the buyers, guys, a little bit more juice in the tank for the buyers. For the NASDAQ traders who are really, really gutsy, guys, if you're really gutsy, you're actually picking up a 50 fib reversal. I would suggest at this point in time, we wait for the candle to close. If you're a junior trader, if you're an aggressive trader, you may have already seen the failure at the 50 fib and you may have already decided to go short. If you have decided to go short, guys, because you're shorting against a very, very strong buying candle, that one right there, then I would have a relatively tight risk control point, as in 12 to 14 ticks. So if you basically get an impulse move down, they've basically got no risk at all. And all you are doing at that point in time, guys, is saying, you know what, the buyers, I can't buy the market up, regardless of how sexy they are. Therefore, I can only sell the market down. Okay, so literally that's what we're doing at this point in time. Now, if you are long, guys, if you are long at 414, just quoting for the FTAX, if you're long at 414, you've got more than 30 points. There's more than 30 points in your favor. So I'd be locking in a big fat 10 to 12 or 14 at this point in time. So again, guys, absolutely no risk. Let the money run. If it keeps running, it'll be hilarious. If it doesn't, you're over your daily KPI anyway. Mark, you're over your supreme KPI. Please do stick to your trading plan. Guys, it's really exciting running a trading room where people hang around for around about 35 minutes and then leave because they're finished. As Cody said, guys, on Monday, guys, we're not going to get offended if you run away. We are going to get offended if you hit your financial goal for the day and then you keep trading and blow it up by making a mistake, right? Guys, that's what punters do. That's what gamblers do. We are not gamblers. Guys, there was a person, I won't use any rude words. There was a person many moons ago, some of you know who I'm talking about, that argued that futures trading is akin to playing poker. So futures trading, guys and girls, is not akin to doing poker. And the reason I say not akin to doing poker is we can actually see the other team's hand. We can actually see what they're doing. It's called candlestick analysis. Right, so any suggestion, and I've missed another trade on the S&P. Oh, God, that monster green bar there, guys, these Delta V2s outside the range of that candle. Sorry, S&P, you guys might be a bit neglected today. This is a 2-rated buying candle here on the S&P 500. The deltas outside the range of that, guys, are absolutely hilarious. Remy, well done, mate. That's brilliant. Suzanne, it always is. So in a typical trading week for European Open, we get 3 noisy days and 2 quiet ones. You'll notice that Tuesday, the trading was like a walk in the park. Yesterday, a little bit technical. Today, walk in the park. Guys, like literally, Andy wants to go and make dinner, but his profit, his trade is off the 76s down the bottom here. Okay, so his trade is down the bottom here. So at the moment, he is, look, 230 through to 280, 50. So he's more than 200 ticks into profit. That's $1,000. That's $1,000 per contract into profit, mate. I'd be putting dinner on hold personally. I would just say, yeah, dinner can wait. And I reckon, mate, if you're on this trade, your dinner tonight needs to be accompanied by a glass of red. Now, for the scale-in FX traders, say again.
It will be a glass of red.
No drinking and trading, though. Oh, there's two people that have a sip of gin or so on when they're trading, guys. That's okay. I don't encourage it. I don't encourage it. Well, I don't encourage it for inexperienced traders. If you're very, very experienced, guys, grab a shot of gin, calm your nerves, but I'm not encouraging you to drink. You're not allowed to do that. Just hold on 1 second. If you've got a 3-year-old screaming up the stairs saying, "Daddy, daddy, daddy," which I do right now, so Akito is going to have to go and attend to, there she goes. Akito's going to have to go and attend to young Ivy. Matt, what have you done there, mate? 6 times 2 FDAX DTR 76. Well done, mate. Yeah, perfect. Mate, there's nothing wrong with that at all. So sometimes, guys, your Fibonacci's might be slightly different than mine. That's okay. Note the FDAX is notorious for failing at the gap Fibonacci's. Right? So again, I brought my Fibonacci down to the gap. Guys, that means for Nathan, guys, if we get through 440, if we get a close over 440, they're probably going to head up here. Guys, now FESX is back over 5,000. It was absolutely brilliant. Okay, we've read the market. Great trading. I'm getting out before I'm tempted. Yeah, Andy, it's a really good thing to do, guys. If you've made, let's say your daily goal is $1,000, you've made $1,000 today, guys. Unless you want to hang around and learn, awesome. But if you've made your daily goal, run away, guys. Literally run away. Now I say that because it's very, very tempting. As ego starts to wade in. Let's say you've made $500. Ego's immediately going, "Hey, you've just made $500. Isn't this fantastic? You know, the guy at the bakery just made $300. He worked for 12 hours. You've made $500 in under an hour. How good are you?" This is an ego discussion. And then ego makes you turn your Ninja Trader back on, and suddenly you find yourself in another trade. It goes, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Now, let me just see what these guys have got. All right, so Nazi, we're looking for new entries. I'm looking for a loss of ratio. There's a loss of ratio now because we are already almost 40 minutes into the session. That's been a very fast 40 minutes. Guys, a shout out as I can. I know we're out on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and all this kind of stuff. So big shout out to the Trading Pit. Guys, they are not only a lovely group of people, but they've also, guys, grabbed us. So Samurai, very, very small trading school, guys, in the scheme of the world, but we will in probably a year and a half's time be one of the biggest in Asia. So a big thank you to the Trading Pit, guys. Sam, you're looking at 20.50 for DAX, possibly 514. Oh, there'd be a Fibonacci there, mate. Let me just go and have a look for you. Now, who was that on the mic before? Who was that? My head. Okay. For the FDAX traders, the technical numbers, mate. Samuel, how are you, mate? 20.5. Yeah, reasonable, but I tell you where they're going to run into steam, or they're going to run into trouble, knowing how the FDAX rolls. So we're in a 15-minute chart trade. We're in a 15-minute chart trade. What does that ultimately mean? The 15-minute chart Fibonacci is going to work really, really well. So what I want you to do is take note of these levels. I'm going to draw my Fibonacci up the turning bar. So that's the turning bar for the entire market. And what we're actually looking for, mate, is the 100% Fib extension, okay, which is right where they're failing right now. All right, the 100% Fib extension, the reason being is all of the institutional traders that have gone long on the 15-minute chart will now be starting to peel contracts out of the market and lightening their load. Okay, there's no doubt about that. The flip side of that, again, I do believe these guys are going to probably push up to the 133 extension. That's ultimately where the market will see quite a response from the market at the 133. We could hunt a gap close. We could hunt a gap close, but again, if we lose energy in the market and it basically just starts to shut down on us, then they may do the gap close after the European lunch. Yeah, spot on the mark, Samuel, spot on the mark. So technically, they don't have to go and close the gap today. They may try and close the gap. Some days they do, other days they don't. So again, the beauty of it is if we're long already, which a lot of the DAX traders or the experienced ones are, we're basically just slowly running our trading stop, guys, behind these candles until they run out of steam. But this is money for jam. There's absolutely nothing at risk on the FTAX, but the FTAX traders know that already. All right, so you are in an incredible situation. That's what I am going to do. Let me just mark these fibs. Excuse me. This one. So we're going to mark a twins fib reversal. The reason being is I'm going to get rid of that Fibonacci. I need to build it back the other way now because, again, that Fibonacci has expired. So at this point, so Nazi traders, again, you've got a 15-minute. Yeah, we're looking beautifully long at this point in time. Beautifully long. For the Nazi traders, again, highly likely to get to those 76s. I'm going to have to flick the fibs on the let me just do this quickly. This one, twins. So guys, note the twins fib failure today, again, been absolutely phenomenal. Okay, as it typically is. Let's get rid of that altogether. We're going to have to play a tighter game here. So guys, Steve's analysis from before was absolutely brilliant. Okay, so we were expecting a sell down to start. Absolutely correct. And now we're in the don't mind that. Okay, don't mind that. Okay. So I believe that's the fib, guys. I believe that the fib we're playing with at this point in time. So for the S&P 500 traders who are long from all the way down the bottom, as if you're long from all the way down the bottom on the S&P or the NASDAQ, as Andy, are you still long on the NASDAQ?
Yeah, I'm just about to come out. I'll come out at 300 ticks.
At 300, that's not a bad place to be.
I'm just about 8 ticks out.
8 ticks off 300. Okay,
yeah,
that's brilliant. So what we're looking for, guys, for those that are still long on the NASDAQ, if you're still long on the NASDAQ, which is a huge trade, because you got no risk on it whatsoever, we need to close over these 76s on the S&P 500. All right, so that the NASDAQ has gone out of sympathy, guys, on the S&P. This is why, for those people that are new to the session, this is why the S&P is a reference chart for the NASDAQ and the FESX is a reference chart for the FTAX, guys. It just makes our job really, really simple. Simple. It might be simple. It ain't easy. It might be simple. It's not easy. There's no question about that. If I've got anybody long, guys, on the price I briefed you at 414, okay, anybody long at 414, guys, what I would be doing at this point in time is making sure you've locked in a large amount of profit, please. Okay, so if you're long on the FTAX at 414, guys, we're currently trading at 445. That's a huge trade for those that like 15-minute chart trades. All right, it's a beautiful trade. All right, so well done, guys. If you've done that, it's an absolutely stunning trade. So big well done. Andy, well done, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, now, guys, we are, Andy, boom. That's huge. So for the longer range traders, you guys have cleaned up today. We can get rid of that Fibonacci extension on the NASDAQ. We don't need that anymore. It's also expired. So it's, again, information we can strip off the charts. Time-wise, 45. So we are looking for, at this stage, the S&P 500. As we're looking for the S&P 500 to close underneath the 76 fibs and underneath the previous pivot if we're looking for a short on the NASDAQ. Now, it looks a lot like a 76 fib failure here, guys. I just need the S&P 500 to agree. Did I get my agreement? No, I didn't get my agreement, guys. S&P's on the wrong side of the previous pivot. Okay, I'm on the wrong side of the PP, which means that we FDAX, you've just picked up a 4-point turning bar. Sorry, a little bit late, guys, a little bit. Please be advised with the FDAX traders, you've just crossed over into the last 15 minutes. Okay, Greg, what have you just done? Plus 12 times 12 plus 60 times 20. Oh, that's like half a Ford Ranger. That's a huge trade, Greg. So I hope that I had something to do with your entry on that one, mate, because that is a massive trade. I think I might have a glass of wine tonight. I might have a glass of wine. This would be good fun. So 4-point turning bar short, guys, on FDAX. Now, again, understanding we're on the last 15 minutes, you've got a delta outside the range of that with an entry at 431. Guys, first target is 26. You've just gone through the target on the FDAX. Now, your volatility, guys, is down well under 20. So a 5-point first target, really easy to get on the FDAX. Nathan, 6, 12, 21, and 50, 6, 12, 21, and 44. Holy moly. that's awesome. That is awesome stuff. Now, again, so that's a big trade. Nathan, you're having a really good new year, mate. That's really exciting. Now, again, FDAX traders, 4-point turning bar short. There's a delta outside the range of the bar at 431. Your volume is okay. If you're short at 431, guys, your first target is 426, which you've just been through again. You're on target again. Right, so if you are a junior trader on FDAX and you're waiting for a static entry in order to make sure that we're not going to trade on the wrong side of the market or these guys are highly likely to push down to the 50 fib, guys, which means that if you are short, guys, on the delta at 431, your first target, guys, of 5 points. The first target is 426. Second target will be down here at 421. Now, I would suggest guys probably bring that up to around the 423 mark, as if you are going to go short, because the 50 fib will act as a pivot. Okay, act as a pivot. So if you are short, guys, on the FDAX, guys, again, your first target is out. Your risk is controlled. You can't lose any money. I would suggest 423 is a very, very awesome second target. Okay, the reason being is that we don't want a target sitting on the 50 of the day, because if there's any resistance there, you're going to get stuck, guys, basically banging on your target but not getting paid, which is what we don't want. Louis, 37 times 5 on the NASDAQ on multiple accounts, right? That's hilarious. So very, very, very well done. Guys, I really wanted to send all of the NASDAQ traders short, guys, off those 76s. Now, for those of you that again, look at the S&P 500. Again, we're over the top of a pivot. At this point in time, I haven't sent the NASDAQ traders short. That delta, well, as I say that, the delta there, the selling delta on the way down there, guys, if you needed an excuse to enter, you've probably gone short anyway, guys, regardless of my advice. So if you've done that, you've done very, very well. Remy, Remy's short for 50 times 5. Massive trade. For those that don't know the maths on that, that's 50 times $5 US. So 250 US times 5 is 1250 US. Well done. Well done, well done, well done, well done. Now, we are firmly in the last 15 minutes. It's firmly in the last 15 minutes. Aaron, wow, mate, 1121 and 156. Aaron, you are born to be a NASDAQ trader, mate. That's that's a huge result. FDAX, you're kissing. Oh, boom. FDAX, you've gone through your short range and medium range targets. So if you're short, guys, on the FDAX on the 4-point turning bar, again, they've cruised up. They've failed at the 100% extension. They've also failed at the 61.8. Algorithmically perfect 4-point turning bar short, guys, and it's gone straight through its targets if you are short. Aaron, well done, mate. That is holy moly. Holy moly. And guys, the US close, guys, shout out to Fred. The US close live trading room this morning was absolutely hilarious. It was just incredible to watch, guys. You know, Fred has come so far in such a short period of time. Yeah, Suzanne, it's massive. Aaron's a lovely guy too, and that's massive. All right, so we're looking for our next trade. We're 11 minutes from the hour. Sorry, we're 11 minutes from the turn of the hour. Flip side being, guys, for the FDAX traders, obviously there's two alternate Fibonacci's we run, right? So the gap 76 or the 76 of the day. So what they've actually done is again, just the FYI for the FDAX traders. Okay, what they've actually done is they've come through here. They've honored the dual 90s. That's when they've said, you know what, we can't go any further. We're going to sell down under the 76s. That's what's actually brought the sell down, guys. So hence the reason why we had that initial target, guys, for the long range traders of 40. Then we had it in another one of 45 to basically say, if these guys don't keep running to the high side, don't give any money back. As it turns out, Nathan has handled that trade perfectly, which is brilliant. Remy, it is a lot of fun, mate. It's what is it, 2025, and we started this journey in 2007. So that's almost 18 years, guys. 18 years in August. Does it show? Do I show my age as a futures trader? Hope so. I've just turned 85, so I hope I look good for 85. Dave, you've done 76 times 3, 36 times 3 NQ off the 76 fibs, mate. Beautiful trade. Okay, well done, well done, well done. Did anybody take the delta short, guys? I might have done a shitty job of talking you out of the trade, which does really annoy me. No one took the delta. Everyone's off the 76s. All right, well done. Well done, well done, well done. Okay, now, where are we time-wise? 9 minutes. Has anybody got any questions at all? Any questions at all about anything we've done today? This is the 15 minutes which can destroy traders. I'm just looking at the SBR, that Delta V2. Okay, so we also spoke. I'm just going to use this, guys, to circle my charts. Trade of the day on the NASDAQ, guys. Trade of the day on the NASDAQ. Just so you guys know for YouTube, just to be super clear with everybody, the trade of the day will be that Delta V2 right there, which obviously we spoke about multiple times once they close the strong candle. The Delta V2 right there, which is outside the range of that -8. So really see that -8 rated static bar reversal. That basically means the sellers have completely given up, join the buyers and hold them for a minimum of 15 minutes. Jeff, we learned that last night, mate. We learned that last night. Hold them for a minimum of 15 minutes, guys, and let them get a wriggle on. Control your risk once your 30 or 40 ticks into profit. Just let it run. Guys, Terry, you're over KPI. So NQ 40 times 5 short off the 76s. Well done. Okay, FDAX, if you did trade the 4-point turning bar, guys, if you did trade the 4-point turning bar, you guys are sitting at this point, guys, 5 trades, 5 wins. If you, depending on what you trade, guys, there'll be a couple of different versions out there in the world. But again, you're looking pretty good. Guys, you're looking pretty good at this point in time. There's no doubt about that. Okay, no doubt about that at all. Now, the flip side of no doubt about that at all. Again, we're in the last 15 minutes, so we're going to be very, very careful. I was very, very careful about what we are, trading. Very careful about what we're trading. FDAX, you've had a walk in the park today. You've been really, really easy today. Depending on how you trade, right? Depending on how you trade. You guys did get a pre-market box reversal. Did I move my box? I did. You got a pre-market box reversal. We know about that. That went okay. Didn't punch through, but it went okay. Went to the moderate range targets. Don't you do that, please? Because I'm still long from 414. So I'm still long on that longer range chart trade. Again, if they don't get back through these 76s again, guys, I'll punch them out at 440. Go on. Go and touch 440, please. Go and touch 440. Off you go. Boom. That'll do nicely. That'll do nicely. All right. So good. Good. All right. So we're bopping along. Bopping along, doing what we do. Now, is there any way to improve the risk to reward on FTX opening candle trade 26 stop loss for a 5-point target? Ash, yeah, the way to do the opening candle trade is to go for a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Right. So once you know how to trade it, for example, when we shot today, I think we had around about 8 points of risk or 9 points of risk. So what you can do is say, right, oh, I've got 9 points at risk. My stop will be at 11 points. I'm going for 11 points. That's the way to handle it, mate. So every time we get that trade, Ash, the market will define the risk for you. It will therefore also define your target for you. That's what I would do, because what you're actually doing is you're giving the market the opportunity to tell you what to do. And that's ultimately what we need to do every day. If we can do that every day, guys, literally hand the responsibility of generating the signal over to the market. But very, very, very rarely are we going to have a problem. There's three faults in trading. There's human error, algorithmic error, and environmental error. Obviously, the algorithm is fired perfectly today. Very rarely do we get algorithmic error. As environmental error will be an unscheduled news announcement. Let's say North Korea fires another rocket at Japan, as they did a couple of days ago, as the markets might go a bit haywire. What does that ultimately mean? That's an environmental error, as it ultimately always comes down to human error. So again, if the human is using the algorithm correctly, understanding the algorithm runs at well over 90%, well over 90. If the human is interacting with the algorithm correctly, they should be running at well over 90. One of the traders, guys, in the S&P US close this morning is running at 87.7% strike rate. So that's brilliant, because above 80, you can make some really good money. Above 90, you're starting to master the art, which is brilliant. Opening counter trade FTX sim for the next 12 weeks. LMR is not positive because I'm taking. Ash, you'll find that the problem on the opening candle will be the 20-point stop. So quite often it requires a little bit more than that. So you're going to actually have to wait for a number of sell downs before you go long. Or you can just wait for the candle to close and then take the trade. And you'll find that's actually far more successful, Ash. Only because when the opening candle, mate, is bouncing up and down, there's a whole lot of people trying to make decisions about what to do with it. Once the candle's closed, then a ton of people are going to go, right, so that's what you guys are thinking, and then off we go. So you may be better, mate, certainly wait 60 seconds, there's no question about that. Don't enter immediately, wait 60 to 90 seconds. Let them go climactic, and if the risk is well inside 20 points, then take it. If it's not, just wait for the candle to close. Remy, you're at 87.55. Well done, mate. That's again. So I note a number of the S&P traders, guys, in the US close are sitting at 87s. So if we get large groups of people sitting in an 87% strike rate, guys, there's no reason why everybody can't target that. Okay, you are going to make errors, guys, human errors from time to time. It's just human nature, right? Just the way it is. The flip side of that is there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we need to do eventually, as we work towards mastering the art of trading, is we eliminate the human error and we basically become very, very robotic. Okay, so that's quite hard to do when you first start trading, guys. But once you've got a bit of time under your belt, some people it's 3 months, other people it's 6 months, other people it's 3 weeks, guys. We don't know when we start the trading journey. Guys, it took me about, just so you guys know, it took me around about 2 years, to start to understand how the markets work. The flip side of that is I had really, really crap teachers. The moment I changed trading coaches is the moment my trading flew. There's no doubt. 5948, they've broken through on both sides. How should we read that, Ray? Great question. Pivot at 5948. 5948. Oh, that's the pre-bottom, mate. That's the pre-bottom. So if the pre-bottom has been romanced more than 3 times, mate, so again, they've sold down through it once, twice, 3 times, it's lost its validity, mate. So let's have a look. Okay. So they're basically, oh, look over here. They've punched it once, punched it twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. It's got no validity, mate. It's got no validity. Now, the previous pivot, a much stronger pivot. So let's say it's been crossed once, twice, kissed it. The previous pivot is still going to be significantly stronger than the pre-bottom, simply because the pre-bottom's been belted 6 times. The previous pivot, they're only on the 3rd visit of that one. All right, so, mate, I treat pivots with an enormous amount of respect, but the pre-bottom is not a common pivot. Okay, not a common pivot. The previous pivot is very common. So I would bet PP over pre-bottom any day. Yeah, mate, absolutely. Yeah, Samuel, we could do that. So guys, some of you have got into the FTX and got out of the FTX. Samuel, you might be holding for longer, but if you are holding for longer, then again, you can use Fibonacci extensions, or you can use a 15-minute chart trailing stop. Our KPI, Samuel, just to bring it into perspective, our KPI for our junior traders on the FTX per day is 5 points. Okay, so we just want them to take 5 points and stop. Senior traders are looking at around about 10 points. Bigger traders are looking for whatever they can get. If you can average 20 points a day, about 20 points a day on the FTX trading for contracts, you're on about $250,000 US a year anyway. And if you're good at chasing long range targets, and all it means is that your 20-point average per week is going to be a lot easier to achieve, particularly if you slowly but surely step up contract numbers. So yeah, mate, we could go there. Volume on FTX, mate, if the volume stays over 300, we're likely to get there quite easily. If we go under 300, we might get stuck. Yeah, we might get stuck here. That's all I'm saying. So at the moment, guys, FTX volume is in the hundreds. So these guys might literally go to sleep now. So that's okay. We just trade a little bit carefully, making sure we're on the right side of the market. Now, at this stage, Nazi traders, we're not going to go short into the 50 fib of the day. We could have, guys, if I had Fibonacci failure, if I was actually, no, we don't. I'm going to leave that there, guys. If we get that 76, if the buyers push up, guys, and tag this 76 fib, we might try and hit that delta short again. You know, the one we're talking about at 96.50, that one hiding in right there, sorry, 96.25. We might try and grab that again. I'd love to see some Fibonacci, some really obvious fib failure. That's what I'm after. Ahmed, 15-minute chart SBR short. We got a 15-minute chart swing trigger short, Ahmed, because the sellers own the stair step on the 15-minute chart. Now, at this stage, guys, so again, it's a good reference point. The sellers own the stair step on the NASDAQ 15-minute chart. On the S&P 500, the buyers own the stair step. So I wouldn't suggest this sell down, guys, on the NASDAQ is going to go very far. In fact, what may happen is we might sell down. Again, if we get a lower low down here, so if we get a lower low down here on the NASDAQ, guys, we may be looking for a long. So we want the sellers to steal the stair step. We may be looking for a long over the top of the 50 of the day. We just need the sellers to push down and steal the step. And that's what we're after. Yeah, Samuel, KPIs are so important, mate. They're so important. And the reason they're important, mate, is there'll be some people in the LTR that have done 100 ticks today. There are others that have done 20. And 20 is okay. 20 is where everybody starts. And you've got to be really, really careful, guys. If you can do 20 ticks a day, it's only $100 US. But if you can do 20 ticks a day, 4 days a week on the NASDAQ and slowly work your way up to 4 or 5 contracts, you're still earning, 120, 130,000 US dollars a year for taking one 20-tick trade and then stopping. But eventually what you'll do is you get adventurous and say, you know what, I'm going to go for a 20-tick target. I'm going to reduce my risk and I'm going to go for whatever I can get my hands on. And today, guys, that has clearly paid massive dividends. Now, for the Nazi traders, guys, what I want, okay, just to quantify what's going on, I want the NASDAQ to come down and touch that black line. Because what I want to do is I want to go long over the top of the 50 of the day as a reversal. To do that, I need the sellers to steal the step. At the moment, the buyers have the stair step. Excuse me. Now, let me grab some more water. All right, so FTX is peeling away, guys, again, because of the loss of volume. All right, so the FTX is hypersensitive to volume. FESX is dropping volume as well. So again, guys, it's all about who is most sensitive. Come on, little Nazi. Come down here, please, sweetheart. Double check. That's not a 4-point turning bar, not a 4-point turning bar in S&P 500 either. Okay. So at this stage, guys, the NASDAQ hasn't gone low enough yet. Okay, hasn't gone low enough yet. The problem we now have is if they do sell down and steal the stair step, we're then picking up a long, assuming a close over the 50 fib of the day, which is what we're not allowed to do. Now, based on this, let's watch. Okay. This is a very, very strong selling candle. So I'm just watching what the S&P is doing. The S&P is also given us quite a strong selling candle, but they're not 4-point turning bar, guys. They're mathematically incorrect. Now, generally speaking, if we get a 4-point turning bar, like dual 4-point turning bars, we get a great trade. Now, the only way you can trade short, guys, on the NASDAQ, okay, the only way you could do it is if you get a structured retrace, which you do have. You are then looking for a rejection, guys, with an entry short at 280. So you'd need to be well clear, guys, well clear of the bottom of that candle. Well clear of the bottom of the candle. Now, again, guys and girls,
just underneath it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do, mate, because these guys look like they're stalling. Yeah, okay. Well, hang on a second. Let's have a look here. So what are the sellers thinking? Okay, so the sellers, the sellers don't have a problem at this stage selling, guys and girls. So again, the flip side of this, if you are going to go short, guys, if you're going to go short at 280, we are carrying risk on the trade. Okay, so the risk is around about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So the risk is a little bit crazy, guys, for new traders. The flip side of that, what's our volume like? Volume is okay. Now, I want to give you a risk control point. Right? So again, if you're short at 80, as your risk control point is 76. All right, now I'm just watching what they're doing because I don't want... So what have we got? We've got a really heavy retrace, a very, very nice rejection. We are carrying risk on the trade, guys. So again, the risk needs to be defined by the candles. I would suggest at this stage, the sellers have just stolen the step. Now, interesting point. We don't want the buyers closing over the top of the 50 fib of the day. Now, the reason being is that will give us a reversal long. That's what we were talking about before. So again, we've had 2 selling campaigns already. We've had 2 selling campaigns. What we ultimately need is a 3rd selling campaign that moves us beyond the low of this candle and fills that delta there. Okay, so I don't want you to take the delta. If you are short, guys, you're short simply because it's a very, very strong candle. It's not a 4-point turning bar. It's just a very, very strong candle. What we're ultimately doing is we're saying to the market, so this is the 3rd selling push, guys, the 3rd selling push. We've got time on this trade, guys. We just want to make sure, that there's follow through on the selling push. All right, we don't want, for those that are short, if you can carry the risk, we don't want these guys closing back over the top of the 50 fib of the day. Okay, that's what we don't want. All right, so let's just see what they're doing. We're giving them, guys, we're giving them time. Okay, we're giving them time. Okay, this is the 4th selling push down. The 4th selling push. Europe is selling as expected. I've actually missed the trade, guys, on the FDAX. I do apologize. There's a static bar reversal short there. These guys have cruised up inside the new hour. They've actually gone, the buyers on the stair step. So we could have actually picked up the static bar reversal short again. I do apologize. I've missed the trade. Now, for the NASDAQ traders, 23 seconds, we don't want the buyers closing back over the top of the 50 fib. Guys, if they do that, again, we must reduce the risk on the trade. For those who are short, again, if you can hold 80 ticks of risk, guys, we're going to have to reduce your risk on the trade. okay, because basically these guys are now setting up reversals. So if you are, guys, if you are short on the FDAX, sorry, NASDAQ, if you're short on the NASDAQ, guys, you're going to have to bring your stop in. Guys, now I know some people are short, so you want your stop in, guys, around about the 290 mark. This could be a negative trade, guys, but again, this is only for those people that can hold 80 ticks worth of risk, of which the vast majority of people can't. Okay, now, again, that means at this point in time, 10, 20, 30, you've got around about 40 ticks at risk. Right? You've got around about 40 ticks at risk. I do need the sellers. Guys, I do need the sellers to sell down. As the flip side of that, guys, so once again, if you can hold 80 ticks of risk, guys, you can take this trade, but your stop is now in at 40, please. So 290 is your stop loss. Okay, again, 290 is your stop loss. This is the second push down. We need the sellers to break through that 50 fib. So guys, you can actually bring your stop a little bit closer now. So literally bring it over the top of the current candle, please. I know there are some people short because you got in, guys, regardless of the risk. Okay, we need them. We need these guys. So for the reversal traders long, guys, you're not going long until we get a lower low. For the NASDAQ traders who are short, guys, I want the sellers to push back into profit. So 280 is where some of you are short. Okay, well done, mate. Okay, now again, guys, if we see, it's about to say, if we see a decent selling campaign, guys, at this point in time, I want you to bring your stop down and knock yourself out with as little loss as possible. Now, the reason being, guys, we've got a short. It's set up mathematically perfectly. We were looking for the push down. Okay, looking at the push down, we didn't get the push down, so we've basically now reduced our risk or scrubbed our risk completely. Some of you got out of that really, really well. The reason being is we've now got a reversal setting up off the 50 fib of the day. This is the original reversal that we were talking about, and what we don't want is these guys to reverse the market against us and create a decent loss. Okay, we don't want that. Now, flip side, guys, the flip side of that. The flip side of the argument is that, again, the risk on the trade is around about 80 ticks. Right? Some of you don't have the capacity to take 80 ticks at risk on the trade. The flip side of the 80 ticks is that, again, if you've gone long over the top of the 50 fib, then you're looking very good. This is also, guys, a ratio-based static bar reversal long. So if you've taken that, we've got to be careful of the 50 fib of the micro trend, which looks like that. Okay, so therefore, at this stage, again, risk reduction, guys, only because we've got a counter signal against us. Yeah, no, Ash, you're on the money there. Yeah, Ahmed, so it's a swing short. It's a swing short on the 15-minute chart. If we can't swing short on the 15-minute chart, guys, the reversal long is actually going to end up being really, really good fun. Okay, so if we do get a tiny little candle here, guys, on the NASDAQ, we may be actually ending up with a if we get a really, really lovely little candle here, guys, we may be ending up with a reversal long. I do know for the reversal traders that we need to wait for the lower low before we look at the reversal, and we don't have that yet. Now, let me just watch what they're doing. Just looking at the bigger charts. I'm seeing what we're doing. Now, as we get through to the end of the session, which is about now, this is when we start to get the market starts to go sideways and get quite technical. So if you have a look at what we've picked up before, all of these deltas and all of this has been absolutely incredible. Now we're trading into consolidation. This is where sometimes we can get caught on the wrong side, which is not unexpected, guys. The volatility is dropping, the volume's dropping. You know, all the big boys and girls went long, made a lot of money. Now they said, all right, it's time to go to dinner wherever you are in the world. And at this stage, guys, we're just waiting to see what happens. We are at this stage, if the S&P closes under the pre-bottom, guys, we're not looking for a long on the NASDAQ. We still don't have a lower low yet on the NASDAQ, guys, to reverse off the 50 fib of the day. So we can't, at this stage, go long, guys. We cannot NASDAQ. The reason we not go long is because the S&P is under a pivot, and we also don't have a lower low on the NASDAQ. Okay, so we don't have a lower low on the NASDAQ. Okay. Let's just watch what goes on here. This is, guys, this is the third time. So this trade, this is the third time these guys have tried to sell down through the 50 fib, and that's not going very well for them. If we got a lower low here, guys, on the NASDAQ, and the S&P starts to buy above the pivot, then we're actually going to pick up a really lovely reversal long just after the sellers stole the stair step. FDAX, I'm getting nothing for you guys. Your volume is now down into the low 100s. So as we were saying, guys, the FDAX loves to close the gap, but if it drops its volume, guys, shortly after the first hour, which has occurred, we're not going to get that really robust move to the high side, guys. It's just not going to happen. Well, yet it'll probably happen a little bit later on. Lee, all good? No, all good. I hope that was good fun. Now, I'm just watching the S&P because, again, the sellers own the stair step on the NASDAQ. There's no question about that. If the S&P was to get back above, guys, if the S&P gets back above the pre-bottom, then, again, we may be picking up a reversal on the NASDAQ. Just watching. Okay, where is the counter fib going to be? It's our time, 17 past the hour. Okay. All right, so for the Nazi traders, guys, we may be setting up a long. Now, what we need is 2 minutes and 25 seconds. If you're aggressive, guys, that delta is tradable, the V2 delta at 92.75. That's if you are an aggressive trader. The flip side of being aggressive, the buyers are completely in control, guys. See over here on the left-hand side, buyers have got 8x control, so 8 times the control over the market they had on the previous candle. So what does it ultimately mean? Is that, again, if the buyers do decide to turn, here they come, if they do decide to turn the market off that V2 delta, I would, guys, volatility is now 49. So again, if you are long on the delta, guys, a 16 or so tick risk control point is relatively smart. Now, if the S&P decides to run here, guys, here we go, we might be getting a run. There's no doubt about that. So if you are long, guys, on the NASDAQ on the delta, or the static bar reversal after we had multiple pushes to the downside, then I would be looking for, they're going to be pushing it, guys, at this time of the day. We need to get above these 76 fibs. Right, so at this point in time, guys, the buyers are very, very strong. Right, the buyers are very, very strong. If I was long on that Delta V2, guys, I would have gone for a 20 tick first target. Guys, I would have nothing at risk on my second target. If we do get a bit of a bullish move towards the end of the session, brilliant, but it's unlikely, guys, we're unlikely to get that session. Ray, absolutely brilliant. Ash, you got plus 20 on the NQ Delta long KPI met. Well done. Right, that's fantastic. Right, well, that's absolutely brilliant. Ash, you'll note one thing, mate, again, out of the US close. You note that the loss of ratio, so this tiny little candle there. So effectively the delta, the first delta going back the other way after the sellers have lost control of the market. Incredible trade. So you've got sellers lose control, complete loss of control. These deltas coming back the other way, mate, absolutely hilarious. Dave, plus 66 times 3 off the 50 fib of the day. Mate, well, that's a great trade. So well done. Now the buyers have just stolen the stair step. Guys, the buyers have just stolen the stair step. What does it ultimately mean? Guys, if we were to get a push up to these 76 fibs, again, we're looking for a short, guys, underneath the 76 fibs. In a perfect world, they're going to push over the top of the 76 fibs and pick us up coming back the other way. The candle strength under the Jeff, that's the new indicator set that you guys are about to get issued. So it's got basically a relative efficiency indicator built into it. So it shows you how strong the teams are. So at the moment, for example, on the FDAX, the sellers are 3 times stronger in the current candle than they were on the previous candle. Yeah, so it's relative efficiency. It's like a dynamic RSI, right? And you guys are about to get issued that indicator. So that'll keep you out of mischief. All right, so at this stage, guys, 20 minutes into the session, FDAX, your volume is a little bit too low for us. It's a little bit too low at this point in time. You see, guys, today the Fibonacci's have handed us a masterclass, which is absolutely brilliant. Let me just get rid of that. So again, guys, 76 fib failure. I was looking for agreement from the S&P 500. Again, buyers just stole the stair step and they've basically plummeted in. In fact, in saying that, guys and girls, the deltas coming back the other way are also valid. All right, so I need to do a better job of calling these deltas for you. So if you see the buyers fail at a known area, guys, the moment the delta gets created coming back the other way, you literally put a sell order down the screen. And the moment you see the delta come on, you just put your sell order on there and sell them. Guys, now, if I was on the NASDAQ today, I'd be looking for 20 tick target. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I'll be looking for a 20 tick target, guys, with a 12 to 14 tick risk control point. All right, so there's the 20 tick target off that top delta. So it means they've actually pushed through that delta. Now we've pushed down, guys, to the 50 fib of the day. All right, so now we've pushed down to the 50 fib of the day. If we were to start getting V2 deltas, so this is the diamond one going back the other way now for the buyers, we would be looking to buy the market after the failure at the known area. Now, mind you, the delta traders, guys, basically, if you can't go up, you can only go down. If you can't go down, you can only go up. Right? So that delta there, these deltas going long on this candle, absolutely phenomenal. Now we're in delta selling mode, guys, going back the other way. All right, great delta target, guys, around about quarter of the PVI. All right, so about a quarter of this is an absolutely phenomenal delta target. Chances of that getting paid is ridiculously high. Okay. Mathematically ridiculous, which makes it even more fun. FDAX, I'm really annoyed about that trade, guys. So on the turn of the hour, we always look for a static entry. These guys have pushed up, failed at the 76s. That is a ratio-based SBR short. Once again, guys, classic case, turn of the hour, wait 15 minutes. So it's turned and literally wait 15 minutes, which is 1, 2, 3. That trade, that SBR there is looking like it's now paying really big dividends, guys. That turn of the hour trade, really, really kind of exciting. Now, as again, the Nazi, if you have gone short on the delta, guys, if you have gone short on the delta, entry points at 88.75. If you have gone short at that, guys, it's gone through the first target a number of times, or the risk and release the risk control point a number of times. I have a sneaking suspicion, guys, if Europe wants to sell down now, it's probably going to drag the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 with them. Probably going to drag with it. Okay. New year has started well, running at 82.61%. Mate, that's fantastic, mate. Well done. That's huge. Now, NASDAQ traders, sorry, Ash, I don't want to cut you off. NASDAQ traders, if you are short, guys, on that delta, please, please, please understand that you're trading down to the 50 of the day. Right? We don't have a lower low, guys. So you've just gone through your 20 tick target again if you're short on the delta on NASDAQ. Right now, flip side of that, if we get a lower low, we're in reversal mode. At this point in time, we don't have the lower low. So the reversals off the 50 are probably not going to be that punchy just yet. FDAX, your volume is woeful. So I think the FDAX is going to be parked. So for the delta traders, guys, if you are short on the delta on the NASDAQ, if you are short on the Delta on the NASDAQ, you've gone through your 20 tick target. You've just gone through it again. So let's just keep a very close eye on this. We can lose that box. I don't think we've got anyone trading, guys. I think everyone's toast. As in everybody's cooked. Is anybody still trading, guys? All the big boys and girls have run away, guys. We've literally dropped from 70 traders, guys, down to 30, 39. So therefore, I'd suggest that most people have gone home. Most people have gone home. Dave, you've done 424 ticks times 3 contracts for the day. Wow. So, Arlen, we've had a good little day. I do believe in the scheme of trading, Arlen, the big one for the NASDAQ traders. So climactic volume here, guys, into what was the 76 Fibonacci's. The S&P, Arlen, gave us a far cleaner trade. So a lot of the NASDAQ traders went long out of sympathy. The Delta V2 has been amazing today. And FDAX, utter walk in the park, and I've missed 2 trades. So, guys, I'd suggest today, all in all, let's say 3 on the S&P, look, up to 5 on the NASDAQ, so 8s and 5s. So around about 12. That's what we normally expect, Alan. So we've done okay. We've done okay. And a lot of people have run away because they're way over their daily goals. So that's and just as I say that, guys and girls, look at this. Lower low, guys, under the 50 fib gives you permission to go long over the top of the 50 fib. So if you have gone long, guys, again, I'm a little bit late on this one. If you've gone long at 83.50, 4 ticks over the top of the 50 fib, you're already going through your 20 tick target, guys. Really important to wait for those lower lows. So, Arlen, over to you. You're the big boss. So thank you again, Arlen. Thank you for TTP for having us. 2025 is going to be very exciting indeed. So
2025 is going to be very, very exciting. I did want to say, listen, guys, I don't know who's watching, who is still here with us. I'm assuming some guys over there on Twitter. I see you. Guys, this is the year to finally start trading, to finally become a prop trader. Okay, this year we're finding out what prop trading is all about, and we are going to have a journey from start to finish at the trading pit throughout the whole year. We'll provide some really interesting insights, more educational material for you guys. So join us, follow us, so you can see all of that information. And Lachlan, thank you so much for another very, very insightful session. We'll see you every Thursday this year, every single Thursday, guys, in 2025, right here, European market, a trading session. Maybe we'll see each other even more often, but I think this is a great way to start our first live trading room session with the trading pit and Lachlan. December.
Yeah, well, it's the first time I've been booked out for an entire year, so I appreciate that, TTP.
Hey, listen. When we see good talent, we just grab it. We just grab it. We're working with you, man. What can we do?
Awesome. No, brilliant. Well, guys, well done, everybody. All the traders that have done well today, guys, you've killed it. Sophia, thank you. Terry, everyone that said thank you. And guys, we'll see you. No more trades, guys. The volatility is dropping out of the market, so no more trades. Flip side being is we'll see you next Thursday, and we'll let it rock and roll from there. Alan, how about that?
Let's rock and roll, guys. See you.
All right, guys. Have a